Good afternoon, my good friends. Good afternoon. Welcome to my live stream. Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Lefevre, and I am a citizen journalist. I like to mouth off on things political, things cultural, things interesting. My website is wildnews.us. Now, today, I'm sorry to report that European Union Parliament has voted yesterday, actually, to outlaw humor and to outlaw expressions of libertarianism and conservatism. They passed in the infamous Article 13, which supposed to protect copyright, in reality will not allow any memes. A channel like my own, if I was in Europe, I wouldn't be able to upload links to the articles about which I discuss. This is a step which globalists, the progressive fascists, made to curtail the free speech. I am on Gizmodo, the end of all that's good and pure about the internet. This is the headline. Let me read a few paragraphs. We regret to inform you that the internet is on red alert once again. On Wednesday, the EU's Legislative Committee voted to adopt sweeping measures that will upend the web in every way that we know it. Memes, news, Wikipedia, art, privacy, and the creative side of fandom are still at risk of being destroyed or kneecapped. By the time Americans woke up on Wednesday, the Legislative Committee had voted on the final form of the EU Copyright Directive, the first major update to European copyright law since 2001. Much of what's in the legislation has been met with approval, but Article 11 and Article 13 are considered disaster by some of the foremost tech experts of the world. Again, under the guise of copyright protection, the EU is introducing the total control over what can or cannot be posted. It's basically a de facto censorship, pre-publication censorship. Now, this is the article on Wired and about the same subject. Let's switch gears. Everybody for the last few days has been talking about the immigration reform. The progressives, the Democrats, have been pushing. They were accusing Donald Trump and his border patrol from separating children from parents. When parents commit felonies, children couldn't go with them. And keep in mind, most of the time when people illegally cross the border, it is a major felony. Now, unfortunately for us, the MAGA people, President Trump caved in. He agreed with the way the table was set on that discussion and issued an executive order supposedly somehow reunited felons and their kids. American citizens who commit felony don't have that privilege. They are separated from their kids for duration of their stay in the federal or state institution, but not the darlings of the left, not the darlings of the progressive fascists, the illegal immigrants. And I am saddened that Donald Trump decided to play along with that meme, that somehow our federal government is abusing poor innocent little darlings. Keep in mind that those children they're talking about, most of them are not even children. They're teenager MS-13 members or adults masquerading as teenagers. Plus, from what I remember, about 80% of the children held for illegally crossing the U.S. border actually came here without the parents. So the whole argument is disingenuous, and I'm very, very, very disappointed in Donald Trump that he's agreeing with the liberal Nazis that somehow U.S. government is guilty in doing something to the children. That's all this play in the book that progressive Nazis play, and Republicans always caved into that. I am on Washington Times. Apparently, times have changed. There are many voices and there are many sober-thinking people on our side who don't buy it. The headline, the Washington Times: House postpones immigration showdown on Friday. GOP leaders postponed a vote on their compromise immigration bill until Friday after conservatives said the bill can't pass. The bill will still be debated later Thursday, but won't be a vote during the session, according to the guidance sent to House members by the GOP leadership team. The problem is real simple. This Paul Ryan bill is simple amnesty to MS-13 members and all the criminals and everybody else who came to the United States illegally. And the only reason the bill is being pushed by the rhinos and by the Democrats is so in time to the upcoming November election, there are enough illegals legalized so they can tip the control over the Congress and Senate towards the liberals, towards the Democrats. The other danger is that the Democrats vote illegals illegally. They do it in California. That's the only reason they have destroyed the Republican Party and the opposing party in any opposition in California to their Marxist, progressive Nazi ideas. Is because they're illegally voting illegals. I saw some numbers that upwards of 3 million illegal votes are cast in California, and I live in California. And one of the major reasons why I voted for Trump is so he'll stop that insanity, build the wall, and let us, American middle class, decide who we hire to run our state. Not the professorial class, not that professorial coastal elite in California that acts like European nobility. Next story. This is from sarahcarter.com. What happened during the Michael Flynn FBI interview? Let me read you a couple of paragraphs. As I pointed out yesterday, Representative Mark Meadows, a Republican, North Carolina, believes there's evidence to suggest that some of the Russia Clinton investigation FBI interview reports, known as 502s, were changed to either prosecute or not prosecute certain individuals. This raises many concerns and questions. In short, what she writes about it, apparently, General Flynn was framed. I guess somebody's watching World Cup, if you can hear that goal. There were many soccer fans. But apparently FBI simply framed the General Flynn and applied pressure to him to accept a guilty plea. I hope he's pardoned or the judge vacates his conviction. That case seems to be unraveling. This is a story I talked about yesterday. This is from 100%fedup.com. DC Mexican restaurant manager applauds socialist DOJ employee for chasing DHS Secretary Nielsen out of a restaurant. Apparently, Kristen Nielsen was eating her meal, and one of the DOJ employees joined with a bunch of other socialist demonstrators and created such an unpleasant environment that Nielsen had to leave. And looks like the restaurant management doesn't want her business because he applauded. Next story. This is from Washington Times. El Salvador to refuse deportations until children are reunited. We read you a couple of paragraphs. The government of El Salvador said Thursday it won't accept back deportees from the U.S. unless it's certain they have gone through the full legal process and have been reunited with their children. Let me stop reading. Hey, El Salvador, who in the F do you think you are? Who do you think you are trying to tell us who to deport, who not to deport? Take your criminals back. Take your MS-13 back. As a matter of fact, they should be deported to El Salvador, and if El Salvador resists, one of the U.S. carrier groups should park itself right next to El Salvador shores and make sure that those progressive liberals who run El Salvador will take their own criminals back. El Salvador, you have no standing of telling us what to do. As a matter of fact, maybe we should declare war on El Salvador. They sure exported a lot of criminal element here. Take the MFers back, or else. That's how I think they should be talked to. This is from Daily Caller. Headline, concentration camp. People react to photos of Trump's detention centers. Just kidding. They were Obama's. The DC's Amber Athey and Justin Caruso regularly take to the streets of Washington, D.C. to ask the most important questions in America. This week, we showed people a number of photos taken of detention centers for migrant children. Clearly, President Trump is keeping these kids in such horrible conditions. Just kidding. That was President Obama in 2014. That's right. We showed people around D.C. photos from detention centers that were run in 2014 under President Obama. That's kind of a, I can't even call it a dirty little secret. That's a big, dirty lie. Democrats are the ones that abuse the immigrant children. There are some reports that Democrats were using them for pedophile sex rings and abused them that way as well. Abusing children is a liberal thing, not Trump thing. Remember, Obama and Clinton's abused and ruined the life of more children, and President Trump ruined none of them. See if we have anything else. Well, I'll tell you what. That would be it for this afternoon. I appreciate you joining me more than I can ever tell you. I'll see you tomorrow, and in the meantime, have a blessed day. Blessed day. Bye bye.